What's good?
The downfall of Kick? Wait, what the?
So right now, like the conversation of why is this person banned, why is this person not getting unbanned, blah blah blah, that's irrelevant. Right now, we need to ask ourselves as creators across all of Kick, what the here?
I like that.
Some of the that's being said, joke or not, it's taking like the freedom that we're trying to give and revolutionize on a streaming platform. It's taking that and it's perverting it, manipulating it, and taking it to extremes. It's like, what the look what it's creating, right? These very streamers are creating the very extreme sides that are being used for the very same cancel culture we all used to once despise. But the problem is, I'm not even against that cancel culture in this very moment because chat's not entirely wrong. Some of the things that are being said and done are disgusting.
This is going to be a pattern that you're going to run into a lot in life. I just want you to keep this in mind, okay? So, Steve goes to work, okay? Or Steve goes to government, or Steve goes to X big thing. And from the outside, okay, I'll use a name that's not mine, Dave. Dave looks at it from the outside, and Dave says, man, this thing that X superstructure does is so stupid. It's obviously bad. It's obviously inefficient. There's a million ways that this can be done better. So Dave finally gets a job, gets promoted, and now he's in position. He sees that inefficient dog thing. He looks at it, and he sees it. He goes, okay, what do I need to do to get rid of this stupid thing? And then he goes to get rid of this stupid thing, and it seems really dumb. But the reason why this thing is here is because of like 2 or 3 other things that are really important that are dependent on this particular thing. When you look at those 2 or 3 other things, you could like get rid of the dependencies on the one dumb thing, but there's like 10 different ways you could go about it. You'd have to figure out how exactly you'd want to do it. You'd have to get different estimates, experts, people to look at it. It is possible. But then when you dig one layer farther, you find out that those 2 or 3 other stupid things are also kind of running for ways that would have to be approved or signed off on by other people. And there's actually a decent reason why they're the way they are. We just haven't used them in a while, or they seem not necessary, but they kind of do come in handy sometimes. And if you didn't have them when you needed them, it would be a catastrophic failure, right? And you spend some time looking at this and you're like, okay, fuck. Maybe we can like give it a new name or some bullshit, and then you kind of move on. And I think that this pattern happens with a lot of different things in life. It might be digging into why does the FBI or the CIA do it the way that it does? You think it's stupid and but then when you dig in, you're like, oh, okay, me. I get it. This is whatever. I get it. It might be cryptocurrency, right? Crypto is like this. Do we need central banks? Do we really need the SEC to tell us how to like give currency to each other? Well, considering how cryptocurrency started off as the dream of decentralized everything in public ledgers and is now probably singularly reliant on Coinbase. My guess would be that if Coinbase fell, every crypto would lose like 90% of its value. It's funny to watch things where, just pulling back, things exist for reasons generally. And you look at them and you might not understand, it might seem dumb, but they're probably there for a good reason. And then when you try to reinvent the wheel on your own, what happens is slowly over time, you basically start to reinvent all of the structures that were originally really frustrating to them. You're like, okay, I understand what's happening. And I've used this kind of analysis to talk about like conspiracy theorists or like large structures like the EU or government agencies or third-party things or whatever. But I mean, like this general pattern, I think follows from a lot of different things. Coinbase isn't even the biggest exchange. I thought Coinbase was wait, what's the bigger exchange than Coinbase right now? I thought Coinbase was like the only large major one left right now. Are there other larger ones? Binance? Oh, I thought something happened to Binance. Am I crazy? Why do I feel like something happened to this? Am I wild? But whatever. If Binance and Coinbase went down, I'm pretty sure they got sued by the government. They're not taking it down. Okay, gotcha. Couldn't you make the same argument with religion? Yeah, I mean, arguably, yeah, there's a lot of structures for religion that are really valuable, socially speaking. I don't think anybody, that's not even a hot take. Okay, but anyway, more specifically to like kick here and, to kick here, like Train and them, I guess are kind of discovering like, maybe there's a reason why people moderate certain things and why people run their platforms the way they do. And like, maybe getting rid of some people is actually a good idea, yeah.
Like content these days, it's like, here's what it is. It's like one good day of content. And then the next 6 days, the streamers are so insecure. So instead of those 6 days, they just say and do crazy shit. that they don't actually believe in, but is just absolutely disgusting. And that's an issue in my opinion.
No, wait. What streamer are you specifically talking about?
Everyone on this platform. Everyone.
Me?
Everyone in the everyone in just like everyone. Like, I mean, like, fuck. There's days I've even been edgy.
Listen, I love Train, but for the guy who constantly says over and over again, he's the most persecuted person on the platform, and he's the biggest truth sayer, blah, blah, blah. I wish he would just name names. He's such a baby when it comes to that. Just name names. If you think that if you think that people are being too edgy, like, name a name. Give a name. Who? Who is being too edgy? Clearly you have somebody in mind when you're saying this. Not everybody. Why would you say everybody? Just name a name.
It's like, there has to be a line drawn. There has to be, like, people have to have the courtesy and decency and the self-awareness to know, okay, you know what? Let me troll around with my buddy Adin. We'll make a couple jokes that are on the edge, but I need to understand what too far is.
I understand. Like, yeah, I agree. Like, chat, like, and I mean, you guys know this too. You guys were pointing out to me, like, Aiden, this is not okay. Like, when we started the affiliate baiting and shit, like, obviously, like, that's way.
What you're be doing is not okay, bro.
Well, hold on, Convi. He's actually being serious. Basically, Train, like, I agree with everything. Like, the edgy jokes, the dark humor with your friends, you know what I mean? But I feel like when I'm just stuck because they're my friends. They're my friends, okay? So, like,
I say friends. I don't do that weird
shit. But here's
I'm not defending Chad. They're my friends, bro.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, okay? Listen.
This is simp behavior. Not just for... Simping isn't just something to do for girls. Remember what I got mad about Kelly for? When people do that endless validation shit? Bro, if you got friends, like, you are the first line of defense in calling that person out for retarded, stupid behavior. The idea that somebody's your friend, so you have to defend them endlessly and you never call them out for anything, you never... Like, I hate that. It's so cringe. It's so... I'm glad Aiden's doing it. Seeing girls and guys about to do this. So cringe. Ugh.
Why are we proving a stereotype true that we all know is not true? We all know that 9 times out of 10 in the real world, the people who joke and have a little edginess in their life are actually usually more transparent and realer people than those ones that act all perfect. But on this platform, for some reason, that's not how we're acting. We are literally proving every stereotype of edgy people being disgusting fucking disgraces of humans to be true. It's getting so... I'm getting so sick of it. Like, why are... Like, we are... On Kick, we are trying to give people and streamers a platform where they don't have to be scared looking over their shoulder every second of a ban because they say, you know, a word, right? Or they accidentally, you know, something pops up in a video for a second.
I don't know where Train... I don't know if Train understands this. I'm not sure. Maybe he does. Sometimes the way that he talks, it feels like he's got an understanding, but other times it feels like he doesn't. I can't tell. But, like, what Train is talking about is possible, but... In my opinion, edgy humor is a lot like consent, non-consent, or edgy humor is a lot like BDSM, where you can engage in it, but you have to have like a really high level of responsibility if you're going to engage in it, and you have to be very mindful of what's going on around you to do it in a responsible way. If you want to engage in edgy humor and stuff, that's fine. But like, let's say I ask a person a few questions, like, hey, do you think that you have a responsibility for what your audience looks like? And they're like, you know, maybe a little bit. And it's like, okay, well, what if like all of them, you know, what if your audience started to turn racist or something? It's like, well, you know, I can't, it's a ton of people. I can't control everybody. I can't control all those people. Like, I can't do anything about that. Like, geez, like when people start answering questions like this, these people just, you shouldn't be using edgy humor. You don't know anything. You don't understand how to use it in a way that can be funny and edgy, but doesn't like actually just turn people into hateful, evil people. But the problem is too often people that engage in edgy types of humor, edgy forms of humor, also will say things like they have no responsibility for their audience, so they don't think they have any influence on anybody else at all. They're just like, oh, everybody do they want. It's like, okay, well, you shouldn't use edgy humor then, because you're just making like racist, mean, hateful, bigoted people. You're not actually just like engaging in humor. You're saying hateful things that are kind of funny because you believe they're true, right? Oh, yeah, this is true. Or this is true. The moral of the story is, if you're against witch hunts and you promise to found your own little utopian community where witch hunts will never happen, your new society will end up consisting of approximately 3 principled civil libertarians and 7 zillion witches. It will be a terrible place to live, even if witch hunts are genuinely wrong. This is the thing I said a lot about all of the alternative content platforms, is that when you create platforms that cater to people that feel the banning policies are unfair on other platforms, you got to keep in mind, people who get banned from platforms, more often than not, 95% of the time, 98% of the time, they probably deserved it. They probably got banned for a good reason. And this conversation is banned from a lot of platforms. It's probably a really good reason why people generally get banned. So when you open up a site, there might be some group of people, like me, okay, who can be edgy, but also aren't necessarily like horrible human beings most of the time. Those people might show up, But the vast majority of people are just going to be hateful, racial slur spamming, doxing, like just the trash that you don't want, that nobody wants. Nobody wants that audience. Nobody wants those people. So it's, yeah, you're creating like almost like a containment zone for the worst people on the internet when your primary appeal is having looser moderation policies, you know?
On Twitch, whenever you have to be basically walk on eggshells every stream, and now it's kind of like, I'll say accountability. It's me too, bro. Like, you just kind of like take that for granted, you know? And that's, you're right, bro. I feel like we got to tee up as creators.
We need to tee up and be classier. Like there's such.
The problem too for what Train is doing here is that like if you're not willing to actually call people out, like Adin, who you should probably call out, if you're not willing to call out, nothing's going to change, right? Like what are you even hoping to accomplish by venting to him here? Like Adin doesn't think he's done anything wrong at all. He doesn't think he's a part of the problem at all, and you're not even willing to say anything to him. So what's going to happen? Like nothing. Like.